Welcome back to what could be the final game of semifinal number 2 here at the Team Liquid Star League 3, sponsored by PokerStrategy.com. I am Day 9. That other fancy man on the phone is Husky Starcraft, and I think everyone is so excited to see Dignitas.NaNiwa versus HasuObs. Continuing on, HasuObs in the top right as the red Protoss, NaNiwa from Team Dignitas as the blue Protoss.
And once again, just make sure to check out Team Liquid's YouTube if you haven't, youtube.com/TeamLiquidNet. If you missed a single game today or from this entire tournament, or if you want to rewatch it on mute because my voice is too annoying, then go there, subscribe, follow them, all of that stuff, and check it out. So this could potentially be the very last game. Sean, you are making me laugh way too much right now.
That was a funny joke. I have to appreciate it with a giggle. Now the big question is, who will throw down the first gateway? It looks like Mouz Sports HasuObs going for that 11 gateway again. And one thing that I always find very exciting is that when you're in a matchup like Protoss versus Protoss that does have a degree of fragility to it, 10 gate is drastically different from 11, is drastically different from 12, and so on and so forth. Very fun to see this big scope of possible styles that you can open with.
Now, both players are just scouting around the center of the map, swinging by those watchtowers, and we can see NaNiwa this time is not going to be looking for proxy pylons like we've seen in the majority of the games last time, just because, I mean, this map is so large. Not only is the chance of you actually finding where it would be so slim, but also, I mean, the chances of your opponent doing that. No, he is scouting around his main base once again. I really like this from NaNiwa. We have seen a lot of games in PvP and with just top players in general where they don't scout their main base because they're sitting at home, they're on their lazy boy, and just sitting in their main base, I mean, there's no heat usually in the early stages. So I really like this from NaNiwa. I think that not enough players scout around their base this heavily.
And what amazes me about that is that a pro does mine, 35 to 45 minerals a minute, depending on whether or not he's trying to slack off. And so that means that NaNiwa does lose a little bit of money as he's poking around his base. It's the equivalent of saying something like where he would originally be able to build a Stalker, he doesn't quite have enough money and has to build a Zealot. However, despite the fact that NaNiwa always makes these, 30 to 40 mineral sacrifices poking around his base, he's still able to get so far ahead. So huge props to the decision-making of NaNiwa.
Yeah, and it also shows that he's not going to have to alter his build in reaction to some sort of cheese or anything like that. As he will know about it so early, he can just do a standard defensive play and not be caught by surprise. So I really like that from him. I think it's something that we should see from players more often. And look at what HasuObs is doing in the top right side. You guessed it, Sean. Throwing down his 3 warp gates. I guess they're just gateways right now. But soon, when they are older and more mature, they will grow into warp gates.
And it looks like NaNiwa responding in kind, getting a 4 warp gate of his own. Taking a brief gander at that unit production tab, we see that, well, it looks like 1 probe ahead for NaNiwa per usual, cutting at 20 probes. And we see HasuObs very, very close to getting his 4 gateways up, but has done no forward pylon placement in the slightest. It looks like NaNiwa actually, with a little bit of a tricky pylon placement, HasuObs is going to miss it.
Research complete.
And this 1 probe may make a huge difference in these battles. I'm looking at the mineral patches of HasuObs, and there is 1 mineral patch that is not saturated with that 2nd probe. So it will play a huge role, I think, if this game goes on for the next couple of minutes. And especially since NaNiwa sacrificed a little bit of early mining there, we'll probably even it out just a little bit. So we're going to want to keep an eye on the units tab, and it will come down to the micro. HasuObs does have a Zealot advantage, but that is it, and is now positioning his units in a defensive posture, while NaNiwa does have a multiple pylons now set up at his opponent's base. So it will be a micro battle to the fullest here in just a moment, and it looks like the armies will be fairly equally sized once they decide to engage. And now HasuObs getting that 20th probe, but going to lose it immediately, but he does know exactly what his opponent's doing now after seeing that army.
So this is a little bit of a stale situation. There's not that much that either player can do, and there it looks like NaNiwa is going to try to push up, but wow, HasuObs has the way better arc. Oh my goodness, HasuObs just ripping apart that push. Incredibly easy defense there by HasuObs, just pre-planning with the great setup. 7 Stalkers and 2 Zealots versus now finally 7 Stalkers and 1 Zealot from NaNiwa. I mean, HasuObs is just way ahead at this point.
Yeah, looking at the units lost tab, I mean, it's 500 lost to 775, which in a mirror matchup this early, not only that, but mirror builds, that does play a huge role here. It looks like he's finally going to be remaking that 20th probe that we've been talking about, but this does mean he has lost several minerals during this, so even though he's ahead in the army, going to be slightly behind in the economy, and there that probe is going to get sniped. We have 42 supply to 43, and so it just needs to make sure that he doesn't mess up or anything like that going forward in this match. But right now, he's got to be feeling good, Sean, after winning that battle.
And it looks like he's feeling so good that he is going to throw down a robotics facility. That could be a little dangerous. I mean, he's so ahead in units that it might not be the biggest deal, but one thing to note, if you throw down the robo and start to use it to try to get those colossi up or even to get some immortals up, you essentially cut off 2 or 3 of those warp gates from ever being able to build any units. They suddenly lose all their usefulness in the game. We see, oh, it looks like HasuObs moving down to kill the pylon. He does manage to pick it off, but was it a blunder or not? It looks like NaNiwa going to catch him a little off guard, and 2 stalkers fall for both players. So HasuObs did get a little bit of the better of that by picking off that one back pylon, but it looks like NaNiwa is just going all gateway units.
This is such a tense moment, Sean, because HasuObs used that robo but hasn't made anything with it, and now we can see those rocks are going to be busted down. So we'll want to keep an eye on the units tab right now. 8 zealots and 9 stalkers for NaNiwa, and there is 5 zealots, 8 stalkers, and 1 sentry. I don't know how useful that sentry is going to be. We'll probably be forced to use a guardian shield to try and reduce that incoming damage. But again, that robo is just sitting there. There is not an immortal on the field yet. We'll see if engaging right here is going to be a mistake for Mouse or HasuObs or not. He's trying to do as much damage as he can. It looks like, Sean, there may be too many zealots right now.
The zealot numbers just swole up way too high. There's the immortal popping out right now. It's shooting at the zealots, and there's NaNiwa target firing. The immortal picks it off. It is just zealots and stalkers versus not so many stalkers from HasuObs. Again, remarkably good micro for Hasu, but still, will it be enough or not? Ahead in probes, could potentially pull some of those off, but HasuObs, no, abandons micro, gets surrounded, and there's the good game, well played, and good luck in the finals. It is going to be Swede versus Swede NaNiwa against Thorzane in the grand finals, and HasuObs versus Empire Cos in the 3rd, 4th place match. It's going to be TVP extravaganza, and just cannot believe the amazing decision making that we saw by NaNiwa all day long.
Yeah, I mean, NaNiwa showing us why he did so well at MLG, why he's doing so well in other tournaments here. And yeah, he did have a very uncharacteristic game number 1, but you have to remember in the last 4 games, he went 4-0, which is not easy to do, especially in the semifinals of a tournament as large as TSL, where all the best players are trying to get in. And that is just phenomenal, showing us that he really, really deserves to be in the finals of that. So make sure to tune in next weekend, guys, as the finals are going to be broadcast. It is on the 14th. It is going to be me and DJ Wheat for the 3rd place match. HasuObs will be in there as he did lose today's games. And then Sunday, May 15th, is going to be live from New York City. I am hoping that there's a stadium with 8 million people in it. There's going to be spaceships flying through the air. It is going to be amazing, guys, so definitely check it in. That is going to be my good friend here, Sean, casting with Chill, and I cannot wait for that series. So make sure the TSL is coming to a close, guys. Make sure to check it out next week of the 14th and 15th. Already call in for sick for work and, you know, take off school. If you're going to school during the weekend, though, that kind of sucks. I do apologize. But I can't wait for that, guys. Thank you for watching. And I don't know what else to say, Sean. This was a very interesting PvP, but pretty one-sided as NaNiwa showing us his skills today.
But very exciting for all those PvP players out there who are looking for more and more variety. I mean, so often it's one gate, add 3 more gates, and go. But we're seeing the timing where NaNiwa is scouting around and skimming the edge of his base, the amazing micro from HasuObs, seeing a lot of more clever openings pop up, and I really think that PvP has a really exciting future ahead of it. So if you're struggling, steal these builds. Amazing play by both players, and of course, if you are a StarCraft fan near or far, go do that teamliquid.net/raffle, so that way you can get yourself a free trip potentially to Korea. So that way you can get all sorts of free spending money, watch the games of the live pros, and hang out with all the people that make SC2 great. I think that that is going to wrap it up for today. In 1 week from right now, it will be the grand finals of the Team Liquid Star League, players battling it out for $15,000, and I myself will be getting ready to freak out.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks for watching. It has been Husky and Day 9, of course. And one last thing I have to mention, the winner of the TSL, people are asking me, gets 15,000 moolah dollars. So that is a lot of food and a lot of Hot Pockets if I were to win that. So $15,000 on the line for the winner. Of course, the second place person gets some money as well, but is not as much as $15,000. So tune in, guys. That's all I can say about that. Thank you for watching today. Sean, it's been a pleasure. Good luck in the future and getting your master's degree and working StarCraft full-time. I think esports needs a lot more people like you. So, yeah, look forward to that, guys. We will see you soon. I am done. Sean, if you have any last words, then go say them. But I have to go take a cold shower to cool off after these games.
Oh, baby. Huge thanks to everyone who came out today. StarCraft would not be the same without you, dear community. So go off, be merry, and continue to spread the love. I'm out. Peace.